This course is presented to you free of charge by TTJ Tech Services of www.ttjtech.biz and by Stir It Up of www.stiritup.com. And remember, stir is spelled with a U, not an I, so that's STURITUP.com. TTJ Tech Services and Stir It Up are pleased to offer this course to you to the glory of God and to the benefit of all those who listen. Well, praise God. Thank you, Jesus. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Voiceover In and Out. Once again, glad to have all of you. Praise God, whether you're joining us live or on the podcast and the various platforms. We are just so thrilled to have you. You know, there's just a couple of weeks of this class left, and we have a lot to cover yet in that time. And so we're meeting 3 days a week now, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. And remember that the Tuesday sessions are right here in the same Voiceover In and Out link. We're not using the Tuesdays with TTJ link for the duration of this course. We're meeting even on Tuesdays in this voiceover class. Now, I also want to, what else do I want to do here? I want to remind you, we've got lots to cover yet, and our final session will be on Tuesday, the 23rd of December. Then there's lots to come after Christmas and after New Year's, so make sure you're subscribed to our newsletter. Do that by going to ttjtech.biz if you've not already done so. Okay. We have App Bonanza continuing today. We're going to show you several more apps, and just going to get started with that. Let's get the audio going here. Okay, so we're about ready with that.
So, done. Button. Speech off.
And I've got my iPhone right here, so we'll...
2:06 p.m.
All right.
Mess home. Kylie's gains
Now
folder.
let me go back to this.
30 page 207. Freeform. Home. Wallet.
Okay. We are first today going to show you very, very quickly, and this is really quick. We're just going to show you the news app here.
Home. Health. Apps. News. Double tap to open.
I actually like Apple News a lot, and we do have Apple News Plus with our Apple One subscription, so that does give us access to a lot of magazines and other, kind of lifestyle things in addition to all of the top stories and so on. Not going to take an extensive look at this, but I just want to show you that it is very similar to a lot of the other apps we've been looking at, and it conforms. Again, we're talking about fundamentals and predictable patterns, so you're going to see some striking similarities here.
News. Apple News Plus. December 8th. Heading.
Okay, let's look at the tabs across the bottom here.
Tab bar. Selected. Today. Tab. 1 of 5. News Plus. Tab. Audio. Tab. Following. Tab. Search. Tab. 5 of 5.
As you can see, very similar. You remember last week we took a look at the music app, and the very first tab was our home tab, and it had kind of a collection of the things we're listening to and the recommendations and so on. And we looked at the TV app where the home tab had our watch list, what we're watching now, and other recommendations and so on. And in the same way, the Today tab here in the news app has everything that's going on right now based on top stories and other things that we subscribe to. There's a little enhancement coming in iOS 26.2, which we expect to see this week, probably any day now. And that'll help to sort of categorize things even a little better for you in the Today tab. But, we can look at our articles, and here's our top stories section.
Top stories. Today feed. Reuters. Supreme Court conservatives appear poised to...
So if we want to read that, we can double tap on it, And we, just like a lot of other things, we can also long press it. So double tapping it will open it up. Long pressing it will bring up a context
Share
menu.
story, preview. Share story, button.
Our first option was, I got a notification there, excuse me a second. It's just letting me know the humidity's a little low. We'll have to put on the humidifier again this evening, but you can share the story.
Dismiss Reuters.
Let's go back to that. Okay.
Of you, federal logo other. Reuters.
There's a preview here on the screen because I long pressed it, so you do get a preview. But then if you swipe to the right,
share story button.
Share story.
Save story button.
Save the story.
Copy link button. Suggest more. Suggest less. Reuters. Dismiss context menu.
So button. You can, any of these stories. And again, yeah, I'm not going to go into the stories. A lot of them are probably political, and we don't need to go down that road. But it's, there's a lot of other things too, because again, there's lifestyle things and all of that. And if I want to go into a specific category rather than looking at all the top stories and everything else, I can go down here to the following tab at the bottom.
Following tab.
Now up at the top,
edit button.
We can edit what we're following.
Apple News Plus. Following. Heading. Following. Saved recipes. Shared with you. New content available. Saved stories. New content available. History. Sections. Expanded. Heading. And then the sections are expanded. And I'll talk about that in just a moment. Let me talk about 2 or 3 things that we just heard that are good information for you to have. Saved recipes. There's an entire section of Apple News Plus dedicated to food preparation, recipes, and more. And you can even cook with the app because it will set timers and so on for you. And you can make grocery lists and save them to a reminders list, which we learned about how to make reminders grocery lists. But you can use the ingredients of an Apple News Plus recipe and immediately save them to a list in reminders. So, and I actually have a demo of that, I think, on our podcast from when iOS 26 was first released, and I showed people how to do that. So saved recipes is where, once you choose to save a recipe, if I open that up. Saved recipes. Introducing saved recipes. Recipes from your saved stories are now here, and you can save new ones anytime.
All right, so let's go to the right.
Southern Living recipe, Apple News Plus, pan-free chicken thighs, pieces of meat topped with herbs on a plate. Southern Living recipe, 1 hour, 35 minutes, Apple News Plus, $1 million pasta salad. A Serious Eats recipe, 1 hour, 5 minutes, Apple News Plus, sheet pan chicken and garlic mashed potatoes, a plate of meat asparagus and mashed potatoes.
Now, if I should want to, again, there's long press. There's even rotor actions too, by the way. No, they're not, actually. I thought there were. I think maybe in top stories there are. I might be wrong. Let me just... I'll check that when we go back there. But there's, definitely, we showed you that there's long press. So you always want to check both. But if I double tap this now, if I want to cook this dish...
Serious Eats.
Of course, there's a back button at the upper left.
2:12 p. Saved recipes. Back button.
But if we swipe to the right...
More button.
You have a More button. Let's look at what's under that.
Unsave recipe button.
We can remove it from the saved if we don't want it there.
Read story button. Add to grocery list button.
See, that's another quick shortcut way to add the ingredients.
Copy link button. Share recipe button. Report a concern. Dismiss context menu.
Okay,
button.
Now back to the main screen.
Saved recipes. More. Serious Eats. Sheet pan chicken and garlic mashed potatoes. Zola Gregory. Total time 1 hour 5 minutes. Cook time 45 minutes. Yield 4. Read the story. Sheet pan drumsticks with green beans and potatoes. Button. Cook. Button.
There's a cook button. Told you about that.
Remove from saved recipes. Share. Button. This comforting one-pan chicken dinner is big on flavor, low on effort. Ingredients. Heading. Yield. 4. 2 tablespoons unsalted butter. Softened. 1 ounce. 28 g. Plus more for serving. Button.
Notice their
Double
buttons.
Tap to select ingredient.
You can select any ingredients that you want and have only those ingredients added to a particular list also.
2 teaspoons fresh thyme leaves. Button.
But look, if we keep going past all the ingredients.
Add to cook time. Direction. Add to grocery list and reminders. Button.
There's the button again, and it's going to let you choose what grocery list you want to add them to, and then you have directions. So these are your recipes in Apple News. Let's go back
Saved recipes. Back.
and one more time
Following. Back.
to the
Following.
following
Edit.
screen. The other thing you heard in this, if you remember, was shared with you. Listen again.
History. Saved recipes. Shared with you. New content available.
Okay.
Actions available.
Now, Apple News is not the only app to have a shared with you section. Music has one. Safari has one. I believe the TV app and some others even have them. What this is it's an aggregation of any news articles in this case that other people have shared with me. And the greatest way to explain the use for this and the benefit of this is, you know how sometimes people will send you maybe a news article or a web link or something like that, and you say, boy, I don't remember when they sent that to me. I'm going to have to scroll and search through all my messages until I find who shared it and when they shared it and stuff, because I really want that website or that news article or that song or that recipe or whatever that, but you know, excuse me, I don't know where it is, right? I got to find it. Well, Apple has taken several steps to make that easier. One is, if you remember back to messages, you do have a gallery view within each conversation. You can see all the photos, all the documents, all the links that have been shared, and so on. But the other way is to open the app that was used to share the content and find the shared with you section. And so here it is in Apple News. So any news articles that people have shared with me are going to show up in here. All right, so I just wanted to talk about that a little bit. You can turn that on and off per conversation and in the messages app and so forth. Now, the other things we saw here were history. Anything I've read, you can go back and your saved stories. And then we saw sections. Let's take a look at a couple of those quickly.
Sections. Expanded. Heading.
And you notice,
Double tap to collapse section.
again, one of those things you can double tap to expand or collapse. It's already expanded. So let's go to the right.
Sports. Puzzles. New content available.
And by the way, the
Actions available.
puzzles are very accessible. I've never tried Sudoku because I don't know how to play it, and I don't imagine that it could possibly be accessible, but maybe it is. You know, Apple tends to surprise us, and it could very well be fully accessible with VoiceOver. But the other ones that are word games and so forth definitely are. You have Quartiles, you have Crossword and Crossword Mini, and you have the emoji game. All of these are available to Apple News Plus subscribers. All of them work great with VoiceOver, and so they're under the puzzles section here.
Politics. Business. Food. Channels and topics. Expanded.
So you had politics, business, and food, and now these are the channels and topics that I have.
The Wall Street Journal, USA Today, Time, Reuters, Politico, National Geographic, The Hill, The Guardian, Fox News, Bloomberg, The Atlantic, Politics.
On and on, okay? And even Mac Rumors,
Mac Rumors.
which is
Actions available.
not so much a news, I mean, they are a news site, but they're more of a blog, you know, but there's blogs in here too. So you get the idea, and I can look at anything in those, and there's actions available in the rotor.
Unfollow, follow, add to favorites, activate, default.
See, if you don't want to follow something. So then, of course, your search at the bottom, which we know how that works. Now, let me just go back and check one thing I told you.
Tab, today, tab, selected, today.
See if
tab,
I was right or wrong here.
More politics, Reuters, Supreme Court, more actions.
Okay,
Active.
yeah, so when you're in the Today feed, they do have rotor actions. It's
more actions. Suggest less. Suggest more. Share. Save story. Activate. Default.
I thought I remembered that. Again, you can also long press an article, but that was using the rotor and swiping up and down with one finger with the rotor set to actions, which of course is the default when there are actions available based on my current settings. You can explore this a lot more on your own, but I wanted to just kind of point out how similar it is to the other apps we looked at. And another one that is extremely similar is the Apple Books app. Now, the Apple Books app allows you to purchase books from the bookstore and read them at your convenience. It also is where audiobooks are housed, and you can read those, listen to those. You can also import your own books into the Apple Books app if they're in the EPUB standard file format. And you can even import and save PDFs to your Apple Books library, although now that we have the Preview app in iOS, you might be using that more for PDF documents, but certainly the Books app is another place that you can store them and save them. So let's go ahead and open our Books app. I've got to get out of the News app.
Home, health, podcast, app, books,
Open the Books app.
books, home.
Now, let's again
Continue, heading.
look at the tab bar here at the bottom, starting from the left.
Tab bar, selected, home, tab, 1 of 5.
Once again, we have this Home tab, and I'll tell you already, spoiler alert, it's going to be the very same as what it is in the other apps we've been looking at. You're going to have what you're currently reading, so you can resume, pick it up right where you left off. It's going to have book recommendations. It's going to have your want to read list, which is like a wish list. And I'm not sure why that notification just sounded. I should have do not disturb on. Maybe it, I don't know. Anyway, oh, it was a message from somebody in my exceptions list. That's why. Let's see if there's anything urgent I need to respond to there. Probably not. Okay. All right. So that's the Home tab. Recommendations. Reading now, what you're currently reading. We'll take a look at it in a moment. But let's look at the rest of the tab bar.
Tab bar, selected, home, library, tab, 2 of 5, bookstore, audiobooks, search, tab, 5 of 5, search.
So you have pretty much, again, it's very, very predictable. It conforms to the same standard as a lot of these other media apps. The Home tab, the Library tab, where you can see all the books you've either imported or purchased. And then you have two bookstore tabs. One's called Bookstore and one's called Audiobooks. They both take you to the store. And then the Search tab, which again is universal. It will search across your library, across the bookstore, the audiobook store, all of those things. And so if we go to the Search tab, for example.
Search, tab, 5 of 5, books, search.
And let's say that I want to...
Apple Books, search field.
Where was that edit field? Of course, it's at the bottom of the screen, in the middle, like you'd expect.
Insertion, search field. Its search field is editing.
And so if I want to search for a particular book that either I think maybe I have purchased before or I want to buy it, you know, Christmas is almost here, so let's say we want to search for Polar Express.
Space, Polar, E-X-P-T-S.
Oops, I misspelled that there.
T-R-E-S.
And now hit the
Dictate.
search button at the bottom right.
Search.
Kind of like return.
Store results. The Polar Bear Express.
Okay, now we have the store results, but let's touch the top left.
In your library. In your library.
And
button. Heading.
So that's going to show me that I already have the book.
The Polar Express by Chris Van Allsburg. Button.
Now, if I double tap it, it's probably going to immediately open the book for me because, and in fact, I was reading it the other day, so it would open it up to where I left off. You should also look at the long press. Sometimes in the Books app, you'll find long press actions and rotor actions. There are no rotor actions here, but I do think we have long press ones. Yep.
Share button. Share preview. Share button. Want to read button. Add to collection button. Mark as finished button. View and store button. Rate and review button. Suggest more button. Suggest less button. Remove button. Dismiss context menu.
So all of these things, most of them are probably pretty self-explanatory. Share. Want to read is that special wish list I told you about. One of the ones I want to mention here a little bit is it said add to collection. Now the collections are ways of organizing your books, so I'll show you that in my library shortly. All right, so if we want to view it in store, that was an option. You can see the bookstore page with the description and the price if you haven't bought it and all of that. Let's look at that was the in your library section. Let's go to the right.
The Polar Express by Chris Van Allsburg. In your library. The Polar Store results. Heading.
Now we're on store results. So these are books presumably that I can buy.
The Polar Express by Chris Van Allsburg. Audiobook. The Polar Express. Chris Van Allsburg. Audiobook. 0 stars. 0 ratings. $19.99. Expected 12/16/25. Button.
Okay, so they're going to release an audiobook of it. I can pre-order that, and I'll get it on the 16th. So let's go to the right.
The Polar Express by Chris Van Allsburg. The Polar Express, Chris Van Allsburg. Book, 4.8 stars, 32 ratings, read, button.
And that's the one I already own. That's why it said read, because it's already there. I can be taken to the store page instead of to the book itself.
Believe, from the Polar Express by Josh Groban. Believe, from the Polar Express, Josh Groban. Book, 3.3 stars. 30 ratings, $2.99. Button.
I suspect that might be a music, like sheet music.
The Unofficial Polar Express 2 by Patrick LaFleur. The Unofficial Polar Express 2, Patrick LaFleur, book, 5 stars, 1 rating, GET, button.
And that's a free book. It
Actions
says
available.
get, so that means it's free.
The Unofficial Polar Express.
And that's the last search result. So let's suppose that I wanted to buy this audio book.
The store result. The Polar Express by Chris Van Allsburg.
I double tap on it.
Polar Express. In your library. Cover, image,
Okay.
and illustration of
Now,
a train.
there is, at the upper left, the...
Cover. More. Add to
Let's go back up to the top.
Button. Close. Button.
There is a close button, which is going to take you out of the bookstore page and back to your search results.
Close.
If we
button.
swipe to the right,
add to want to read button.
We can add this book to the want to read list.
More button.
There's a more button. Let's see what it is, what it has in it.
Share button. Want to read. Add to collection. Mark as finished. Suggest more. Suggest less.
All right, a lot of the same stuff we had before, so I'll get out of that. Now,
close. Add to more. Cover, image, and illustration of a person sitting on a train. J Polar Express.
That's the book cover image.
The Polar Express. Heading. Author, Chris Van Allsburg. Button.
As I swipe to the right,
kids and young adults.
I hear all this detail.
Audiobook. Pre-order. Button.
And there's the pre-order button right there. And if you already own the book, it would say read. If it's a free book, it would say get. If it has a cost, it would say the price, which is really what it's doing here, except it's not. This is a pre-order, so it's saying
audiobook pre-order button.
Saying that instead. But if it's already available in the store, it would just say a cost.
Pre-order for $19.99 button.
All right, go to the right.
From the publisher, heading.
Here's going to be our description.
From the an audiobook edition of the Polar Express. The perfect book for all those of any age who believe, come Christmas Eve, that they too will hear the sweet sound of a reindeer's silver bell. A young boy, lying awake one Christmas Eve, is welcomed aboard a magical train to the North Pole. Through dark forests, over tall mountains.
Okay, so we could keep reading that description, and then there might be more detail.
More audiobooks by Chris Van Allsburg. More audiobooks by Chris Van Allsburg. Button. Heading.
And so that's we can see what else he's got in audiobooks.
Jumanji, Zatora, Queen of the Falls.
All right, so you get the idea. This is the store page for this particular book. Now we're going to go up here and hit close. I'll quickly get there with a 4-finger single tap at the top of the screen.
Close button.
And double tap.
Close button.
Now, what I'd like to do, I'm going to close this.
All button.
I'm back to my search results.
Polar Express, search field, clear text, close button.
Close that. Now,
search.
You can expect that your other tabs are collapsed.
Apple Books, tab bar, home, collapsed, tab.
So we'll double
activate to expand the tab bar.
Yep, we'll do just that.
Selected, home, tab bar, selected, home, tab, 1 of 5.
Now it's expanded. Let's take a quick look at the library, and I'll show you collections.
Library, tab, 2 of 5.
Now, this is our library. This is stuff we already own.
Library.
At the upper left,
collections button.
There's the collections button. I'll show them to you in a moment, but let's go to the right.
More button.
There's a more button. Let's see what this more button has in it.
Select button. Selected. Grid button. List button. Sort by. Recent button. Title button. Author button. Selected. Manual button. Remove downloads button. Dismiss context menu. All
right, lots of options in there. You can multi-select by choosing the select option. You can choose how the books are sorted. You can remove downloads. You have whether you're viewing your books in a grid or a list and so on. And so
dismiss context
we're going to just
menu,
dismiss
button.
that. Okay, so that was the more button.
Library, collection, more, button.
Now.
Library, love throughout time, I.D. Johnson, series, but more, library.
Okay, that was a series. That was actually a book about, it was a fictional book about the Titanic, but let's go.
Sample, what happened from the cross to the throne, E. W. Kenyon, button.
Oh, I need to actually buy that book. I got the sample, and I didn't buy that yet. You can get free samples of these.
Heavenly Authority, The Right of the Believer, Unabridged, John G. Lake, in iCloud, audiobook, sample, Titanic, Apple Books Classics, multiple authors, series, button.
I'm not sure what book I have from that series there.
Toxic Empathy, The Polar Express, Intro to App Development.
And there was the Polar Express. Now, any of these books, if I double tap them, it will immediately open them. Or if they're in iCloud, they'll have to be downloaded first and then open. But that should typically just take only a few seconds. And then if instead of double tapping, we use the rotor, there are actions.
The Polar Express, Cruz Van Holzberg.
So I'm going to swipe up or down here.
Show actions pop over, drag item, activate, default.
So if I show the actions pop over, it's going to be a lot of the same stuff we saw before. You can view it in the store, you can share the book, you can mark it as finished, all of those kinds of things. Now, I'd like to go back to my collections because I'm actually going to open a book because we need to show you how to read a book once you've obtained it. But I'm going to use a book that I actually wrote so that we don't have any potential copyright issues. I own the copyright to this. I give myself permission, and we're good to go. So I wrote, some of you know, a book about the Titanic. I always say to people that I've been borderline obsessed with the Titanic ever since I was a little kid. I'm not sure why, but when I wrote a book in time for the 100th anniversary of the Titanic sinking, which was back in 2012, and then I released an update in 2022 with some new findings and some corrections and some additions and stuff like that into the book. It's available in the Apple Books store, both in the digital format and the audio format, so I can show you both without violating any copyright laws here. So I want to find it. I could search for it, or I could use collections.
Top Apple Books Classics.
Let's go up here.
Collect more collections button.
So again, a collection is just a way of organizing your books, and I have multiple collections that you're going to see. Some are already there because the app gives them to you, and then there are some that I've created. So let's double tap on collections.
Collections heading.
Now, first,
Collection edit button.
we can edit. Let's keep going.
Close button.
We can close.
Want to read 62.
I've got 60
actions available.
And notice there are actions.
Hide. Activate.
Okay,
Default.
you can hide that. So I've got 62 books in the want to read collection. That's that wish list kind of.
Finished 46.
There's the ones I've
Swipe up or down to select a custom.
There's the ones I finished.
Books 265. Audiobooks 41. PDFs 11. My samples 31. Downloaded 32. My books 213.
All sort of built-in collections. Now I think we're going to get into the ones I've created myself.
Titanic books 5. Favorites 43. JSBS 1. New collection button.
And at the bottom there is new collection. You can create another one. Those three, Titanic, favorite books, and the that's Jerry Savelle Bible School is that other one I've got. So now, if I go to the, let's say, I don't know if I put my own book in the Titanic books. I would assume so, unless they were just ones I read from other authors, but we'll see.
Titanic books 5.
Now let's,
library, back button.
There's a back button. Let's go to the right.
More, button. Titanic books, heading, Titanic books, 3D Titanic, can do 3D, The Night Lives On, A Night to Remember, Titanic, the most complete story ever told, Anniversary Edition, Matthew Vollbrecht, 1% finished, in iCloud, Titanic, W.B. Bartlett, finished book, button.
Okay, and I actually don't think that is the current version of my Titanic book, so I'm going to go back to favorite books, because I'm sure I put it in there.
Library, back, Toxic Empathy, the Polar, Toxic
okay.
The Polar Express.
That took me out of...
Collections, collect more.
That took me out of the...
Library, love throughout, collections.
Collection, so we'll go back.
JSBS, favorites, 40.
All right,
library,
now I'm sure.
Favorites, number list, favorites, number the stars, unabridged. Lois Larry, Charlie and the Great Glass Elevator, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, The Boxcar Children, The Martian, number the stars. My name is Madam, The Giver, A Captain's Duty, The Giver, Illustrated, The Castle in the Attic, Failure is not an option, Not Without My Daughter, Dracula, Charlie and the Great Glass, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, The BF, Unstoppable Words. God's Medicine, You're Supposed to Be Wealthy, Elvis and Ginger, Me and a Guy Named Elvis, Overcoming God's the Little Gray Man.
Apollo 13, I see that.
Your Apollo 13.
Where's
The Giver? Someone with Healing Us, Moonshot, The Only Planet, Titanic, the most complete story ever told, Matthew Grayson Vollbrecht,
okay.
12% finished.
That's the correct one. And so we're going to double tap it now because we want to read this.
Titanic, The
Now, I'll touch the top left.
Too close button. 17 pages left in chapter.
I'm somewhere in the middle, but
Close button.
there's a close button. Keep going to the right.
2. Impressively grand, incredibly vulnerable. Heading level 2.
All right, so I'm on chapter 2.
Actions available.
You have
Use
actions.
the rotor bookmark page. Hide controls. Activate default.
You can bookmark the page right there. This is chapter 2. I'm going to keep swiping to the right past the text so we can go back to the beginning of the book.
Few people can hear the name Belfast, Ireland. Page 22 of 166. Orientation lock. Menu button.
Okay, I'm going to go to the beginning of the book before I show you around here. So the final thing
Menu button.
is the menu button, and that's where you're going to find your table of contents, among other things.
Menu. Position. Table of contents. 12%. Page 22 of 166. Button. Adjustable.
Now that's a value adjuster, but it's also a button if we want to reveal the whole table of contents. But first, let's go to the right.
Search book. Button. Themes and settings. Button. Share. Button. Orientation lock. Off. Line guide. Off. Bookmark. Off. Bookmark.
Okay,
Off.
so you can bookmark this page. You can turn on the line guide. You can turn on the orientation lock if you want to. You can search the book, and that you can search for different text. It will show you where that text is on what page, and you can quickly jump to it. You can also search Google and Wikipedia and so forth for the text. Let's go to the table of contents.
Themes and search book. Position. Search position.
There we go.
Table of contents.
Double tap.
Titanic. The most complete story ever told.
All right, swipe to the right.
Close. Button. Copyright. Page 2. Indentation level 0. Forward. Page 3. Indentation level 0. Heading.
This is the table of contents. You have copyright. You have forward.
Dedications. Page 7. Indentation level 0. Excerpt. Page 9. 1. Where it all began. Page 10. Selected. 2. Impressively grand. Incredibly vulnerable. Page 22. Indentation level 0.
So I've got all these chapters. There's even an image gallery at the end of this book we can look through. But I'm going to go to the excerpt, which is really the beginning of the book. Then you have chapter 1. So you could read the forward as well, actually. Let's do that. Let's go back.
Dedicate forward. Page 3. Indentation level 0.
All right, let's read the forward. So we'll double tap on the forward.
Menu button.
Now, if we swipe to the right, we can read this page.
Menu.
Actually,
button.
it's already as far to the right as it can go, but if we swipe to the left...
Orientation lock. Page 3 of 166. Adjustable.
All right, I'll talk about that in a second. There's a couple of different ways to turn the page here. So go back to the left.
When I was in the first... The truth is, in that light, indeed...
Okay, they're sort of splitting this up into sections, so we keep swiping left until we get as far.
It has now. Heading.
There we go. That's
Swipe close. Button.
So we know now.
Heading.
Right. Keep going.
Swipe up or down to select.
Go to the right.
It has now been almost 10 years since I officially began my work on the book you are about to read. I remember the moment I completed the process of submitting the book to various online bookstores. Being a born-again Christian...
All right, so this is the book, and it's reading it to you, and I can swipe manually and read, and then I can turn the page. You remember the page turning gesture. It is a 3-finger swipe to the left to go to the next page.
I would learn everything I could about Titanic, as thorough and, as I stated...
See, so we're doing that. We can go back, 3-finger swipe to the right.
By 8th grade, I had officially decided that someday I would write a book about... Heading. It has now been almost 10 years since I officially began my work on the book.
Okay, there is also that page indicator to the right here.
The truth is, when I was page 3 of 166, adjustable.
So we can swipe up with 1 finger to go to the next page.
Page 4 of 0.
Back down.
Page 3 of 0.
And that'll change it that way. And in addition to this, if you do a 2-finger swipe down, it will continuously read and automatically turn the page when it needs to. And I'll just show you an example of that.
When I was in the first grade, the truth is...
We will just start sort of in the middle of this page, not at the beginning again, just for the sake of time.
The truth is...
I did my 2-finger swipe down.
Not me or my level of knowledge, which I believe has propelled this book to that level of interest. Sit down with family, friends, or even perfect strangers, and they know something about the Titanic, have some opinion about it, or want to ask questions about it. Actually, that's how the borderline obsession began with me. When I was in the first grade, About 6 or 7 years of age, I had the opportunity to read a story about underwater exploration. That story, deep within a first grade reading book, or perhaps copied from some article, happened to contain a short reference, certainly no more than a paragraph in length, to the RMS Titanic. At that moment, I became irrevocably captivated, not so much by the exploration, but by the Titanic, by her story, her legends, and the stories and legends of the people who sailed her. As time went on, I would learn everything.
Okay, if you heard that, it turned the page there for me automatically because I did that two-finger swipe down. So you can continuously read that way. Now, some books, the way they're coded, may prevent that from working. Sometimes you may get to the end of a book, the end of a page rather, and it just does nothing, and you then still have to do the three-finger swipe to the left or what have you. It's just the way the book is coded, but typically that's going to work for you. So it's going to turn the page. Now let's look at this page and see if there's maybe a word we want to look up or something. Let's read a little bit.
Close. On, I would learn everything I could about Titanic, completely by choice and not as part of any school requirements. Though periods of time, sometimes even years by 8th grade,
Moving along a little.
Page 4, by 8th grade, I had officially decided that someday, I would write a book about the Titanic.
Maybe we'll just look up the word officially. So let's use the rotor and go to words.
Characters, words by 8th grade. Cap had officially decided officially.
Now I think we have to use text selection here.
Lines, text selection.
All right.
Word selection.
Let's select officially.
Officially selected.
Now turn the rotor away from that.
Edit, vertical, edit, highlights.
Okay, there's a highlights option in the rotor. If you highlight something, you can use the rotor to go between highlights. Let's go to the left to the edit rotor.
Edit.
And swipe up or down and see what's there.
Highlight. Add note. Look up. Search. Translate. Share. Copy. Highlight.
Look at all those options. So let's look up this word.
Add note. Look up.
Double tap.
Sheet grabber. Half screen. Button.
You remember the sheet grabber,
Double
what that
tap to expand the sheet.
What that means, right? It's an overlay, sort of.
Officially. Heading.
And here's our definition. Swipe to the right.
Close. Button. Dictionary. Of middle dot fee, middle dot shuttle, middle dot lie, vertical line schwa modifier, vertical line fish schwale, vertical line adverb in a formal and public way. New Oxford American Dictionary.
So it's giving the definition, but it also showed us the pronunciation.
Officially vertical line schwa modifier, vertical line fish schwale, vertical line adverb, official, Oxford German Dictionary. Officially vertical line schwa modifier, vertical line fish schwale, vertical line adverb, officialmente, Oxford
It's even
Paravia.
giving it to us in different languages, but the first one was English, and it said, formal or whatever it was. And let's see if there's anything else. Okay, here's some Siri knowledge. Let's see what that has.
Official, someone who holds an office in an organization or government. Wikipedia, button.
And so that's a little different, but you see,
App Store.
there's an app store.
Search an app, button.
Right? So you really have a lot of choices here. And again, this is the dictionary, the lookup option. We could have made a note. We could have highlighted. And this all syncs with iCloud across your devices too, so that when you read this, you can pick up where you left off. You don't even have to bookmark a page because it will remember your progress in that app and, of course, across all your devices. But also, it will sync your notes, your highlights, your bookmarks, and so on.
Group.
Now we'll go
System
up here.
Sheet graph official close.
We'll close
button.
that, and then
By 8th grade. Cap B.
now we're back, and I just show you
Actions. Activate.
the actions rotor.
Bookmark page.
That's where you can bookmark.
Hide controls. Activate.
And then remember,
Highlights.
so there are no highlights right now because we didn't highlight anything. See that? But
Edit.
under edit, when nothing is selected, nothing is in the edit rotor. You swipe up and down and you just hear nothing. But when we've selected some text, then we absolutely can use the edit rotor.
Vertical
And then
edit.
also remember that if we want to do a search for something, we can go over here
Page orientation menu button.
to the menu.
Menu. Position. Table of search book button.
All right, search book.
Search book.
And
heading. Search field is editing.
let's say that I'm specifically looking for some information about Titanic's lifeboats because I've heard a rumor that they didn't have enough boats. So let's say I just search the word lifeboat.
Capital F
Whoops.
O O G.
Now what I'm going to do is I'm not even going to put a plural. I'm just going to make it lifeboat. And then if I do the
search
at the bottom right, okay,
2 Impress.
Touch up near the top.
Search book. Heading.
Search book.
Search book.
That's your
Heading.
first category here.
Copyright. Photograph of a lifeboat carrying Titanic survivors. 05/14/1912.
All right, so the first place that the word lifeboat appears is right at the very beginning of the book in the copyright section. But let's swipe to the right and see where else it appears.
1. Where it all began, Titan was said to carry over 3,000 people, but to have enough lifeboats for only a small...
All right, that's probably not the one I want, so let's keep swiping. But you notice what it's doing is it's telling me where it's located.
1 with 2, 1, where it all began, yet the complacent souls aboard the Titan believed...
That's another one. Here's chapter 2.
2. Impressively grand, incredibly vulnerable, his responsibilities included the decorations, the equipment and all general arrangements, including the implementation of an efficient lifeboat David design. Page 24.
Doesn't quite sound like what I'm looking for yet. Let's keep going.
2. Impressively grand, incredibly vulnerable, another place where White Star was supposedly clashing with Harland and Wolf was on the number of lifeboats provided. Page 34.
Now that sounds like exactly what I want. Let's go to the right and see if there's more discussion on that.
2. Impressively grand, incredibly vulnerable, no one at the time gave much thought to lifeboats, mostly because no one ever thought they were going to need them. Page 34.
Yep, so this is exactly the section that I want. I can double tap on any of those to be taken directly to that page. Another thing we have is the heading navigation.
Vertical headings.
Which you can see.
Heading not found.
It's not going to actually do anything because it's so long. I probably have to 3-finger swipe.
Page 3 of 10. Page 8 of 14. Heading search book. Heading.
But
heading not 7. Exodus.
If we go down to the bottom here.
Close, but clear text. Clear lifeboat. Vertical scroll. Glossary of terms. David. A special crane used for the loading and glossary of terms. Boat deck. Some Titanic image gallery. Titanic lifeboat with.
So you can see all of these search results. Now, again, I mentioned to you, and let's just go
lifeboat search field
into the edit field here again.
Search clear close Q
and
clear text.
Clear the text out of there.
Cleared close.
Now we can close that.
Menu button.
I mentioned to you that when you are in the regular book and you highlight or you select some text, you heard that you even got results from like Wikipedia and web results and Siri results and stuff like that. So that's another way you can search even beyond the confines of the book. But this search book here is specifically giving you the places where what you're searching for appears in the book. So now when we're finished with this book, we'll hit this close button.
Go back, page 22, button, go 2 pages left in chapter, close, but close, go back.
Now what I'd like
Favorites.
to do is I'd like to show you an audiobook. We'll use the same book so we again don't violate any copyright laws.
Favorites, the only plane in the sky, Titanic, the most complete story ever told, unabridged, Matthew Vollbrecht, finished, in iCloud, audiobook, button.
And when I double tap this, it's probably going to start reading it on its own, but if it's not at the beginning, I'm going to pause it and then get it back to the beginning for you.
Close, button, download,
under someone else's
close,
name,
button.
after somehow getting hold.
Now, let's see where we are. We're probably pretty far in the book here, but let's take a look at the screen. You have a close button.
Track 7.
Yeah, we're on track 7. Go to the right.
Download button.
So this book is not actually downloaded. It's just streaming from iCloud. That's okay. Praise God.
More actions button.
More actions.
Titanic, the most complete book position. 5% adjustable. Played 1 minute, 26 seconds. 5 hours, 17 minutes left. To play, go backward 15 seconds. Play button. Go forward.
Oh,
15.
let me show you that. Notice
5 hours, 17 minutes left.
5 hours and 17 minutes left, but here
to play 29 minutes, 10 seconds.
That's in that particular track. Okay. Now you have go back 15.
Go backward 15 seconds. Play button.
There's your play pause button.
Go forward 15 seconds button.
And then you can
volume 100%
adjustable. The volume.
Narration speed, normal speed button.
You can adjust the speed, the playback speed.
Sleep button.
You can set a sleep timer.
Airplay button.
You can airplay to various, HomePod or Apple TV or other smart speakers around your home.
Table of contents button.
And there's the table of contents.
Table of contents.
Which we will use to quickly jump back to the beginning.
Titanic track 1, 30 seconds.
All right, do that. Now we will
close button.
Either find the play button and double tap it, or I can just magic tap. And we're going to listen to a few seconds of this book, maybe a minute or so.
Titanic, the most complete story ever told. Written by Matthew Volbrecht. Narrated by James Michael Shetler. Forward. It has now been almost 10 years since I officially began my work on the book you are about to read. I remember the moment I completed the process of submitting the book to various online bookstores. Being a born-again Christian, I immediately praised God, along with saying a prayer that none of the digital stores would find any reason to reject the book. If the book did make it onto various store pages, and there was no reason to assume that it wouldn't, I would have achieved the goal of releasing it in time for the 100th anniversary of the Titanic disaster. Indeed, the book was released in time. I was very excited, but my mind never really went beyond that. I never thought about the longevity of the book, and although I had written it with the intent to evoke emotions and to make some sort of impact, I'm not sure I can honestly say I believed it ever would. In that light, what has struck a chord with me more than anything is the incredible and overwhelming response the book has received. People of all ages have indicated that they have found it to be both enjoyable and informative.
I've paused that. He's an outstanding narrator. I'll tell you what, praise God, I was so excited when God led me to him and I found him, and he just did an excellent job with the book. So, that is the audiobook feature. Again, you can set a sleep timer, you can AirPlay, you can adjust the narration speed, as it's called, essentially the playback speed, and all of these things and more. And any of the books that you buy, you can, they will show up here from Apple Books. Again, if you want to import your own content, it has to be pretty much in the EPUB format. There is another sort of enhanced EPUB version that Apple uses specifically, which allows for the image galleries and stuff like that, which I have in my book, and you can put audio clips in even in your digital book if it's not an audio book, and you can do like tables and other sorts of things that only work in Apple books, and that kind of is you can create that using the Apple Pages app if you want to do it yourself. There are companies that'll do it for you, and then you can even create read-along books that are able to be like I have a book that we read with the kids, especially when they were younger. We read The Night Before Christmas. It's not an audio book; it's a digital book, but it has a spoken track as well, and it has background music. And what happens is you can actually have it automatically turn the pages for you and highlight the part that the narrator is reading, so the kids can read with it. These are Apple Books features that are pretty much unique to Apple only, and as far as I know anyway, that's still the case. And there's even a fixed layout ebook that, in case you don't know this, ebooks are reflowable. What that means is that, they'll work on any screen size, any orientation, right? Because of that, when you're reading an ebook, it's not quite the same as a print book, right? In other words, okay, if I'm reading a print book, I can say to everybody, all right, turn to page 87, where we're going to read together about the lifeboats of the Titanic. Well, with a reflowable ebook, page 87 on an iPhone in portrait mode is going to be completely different than what I see on page 87 on an iPad in landscape mode, or on maybe some sort of Chromebook or an Amazon Kindle device or something, depending on the screen size and the orientation. It's a benefit because you can use them across all these devices, but you can't say, like, turn to page 87. You'd have to say, all right, open up your books to chapter 3, and then the subsection called Titanic Lifeboats or something. Like, you can do that. But Apple does have a fixed layout format that does allow the page numbers to be fixed. And again, you can create those in Pages. That's often not used for plain text. It's used for things where the design is the most important thing, like maybe a picture book, a graphic novel, a graphic cookbook, something like that. Even when I created a course on human space exploration, and we piloted it at a local school district, the teacher and I used the classroom had, what did they even have at the time? Did they even have Chromebooks? They're a Chromebook district now, because that's where our kids go. but I don't even think they had Chromebooks back then. I don't remember what they had, but it was really difficult to, like, I couldn't do a fixed layout book because they would not have been able to read it. So I had to do it free flowing. So when we did that book, what we would do is we'd say, and I made the sections very like that. Again, that was a book on human space exploration. So let's say I was talking about the Apollo program. So I would have one section on like the purposes of the Apollo program. I'd have another section on like the foundations of the Apollo program. Another one on the Apollo 1 fire. Another one on like notable missions, and then like a section on Apollo 8, which was the first one to orbit the moon, and Apollo 11, the first one to land on the moon, and Apollo 13, where the oxygen tank exploded and stuff. So we'd say, okay, kids, turn to chapter 6 on the Apollo space program, and then go to the subsection on Apollo 11, or whatever it was that we were going to do. And quite honestly, that was the ideal, but a lot of times in that classroom, the technology wasn't so great. We ended up printing it out for them anyway, and they just had the physical papers. That wasn't the goal, but, sometimes that happens when you have a mixed technology environment. They've improved their technology drastically, praise God, although it's still not Apple tech, but hey, But anyway, my point in all that was a lot of times the free flowable is going to be the easier way to go. And this is not something you decide unless you're creating a book, but the Apple Pages app does allow you to do so. We kind of talk more about that in our iPad course in the spring, because that's a lot more about creativity and productivity and advanced stuff. But just know that you do have different book types. If you're bringing a book into Apple Books, it has to be basically in the EPUB or EPUB format, or it can be PDF. You say, well, what about audiobooks? Well, that's a little bit tricky. You would probably, if you're going to bring your own audiobook in there, you can try to do it through the Books app on a Mac, which has an import feature. And you would have to get the file into, I think it's an M4B format. There's third-party apps that can help with that. But, there are ways. So that's a little bit of an overview
2:56 p.m.
of the Books app. Well, let's go
Close.
back here. All right. We're not done yet, because now we're going to switch gears completely, and we're going to talk about the Photos app and maybe the camera a little bit, but we'll see. So I'm going to open Photos.
Photos.
Now,
Collections.
I have got to say, and I've not actually looked this up. I don't have empirical data to back this up. Maybe somebody like ChatGPT or Alexa Plus could tell you for sure if I'm right or wrong. But I feel like the Photos app has probably been the single most redesigned app of any Apple app. I mean, all of them receive enhancements and new features and fixes and overhauls and stuff each year. But I'm talking about the design, the tab layout, everything has been redesigned so many times in this app to try to find the formula that people like the best. Now, last year on iOS 18, if anybody's still running that, Apple tried a single view design for the Photos app. One long app with what VoiceOver would consider to be multiple headings, and everything was on one screen. You didn't have tabs or anything. That wasn't so well received. I didn't mind it. To me, it was just something to get used to. I didn't really care. Some people were a bit more harsh in their critiques of it than others. But whatever the reason was, Apple redesigned it this year again, and it is back to a tab view now. So let's look at the tabs at the bottom of the screen here.
Tab bar. Collection library. Tab. 1 of 3.
Okay, so we have library.
Selected. Collections. Tab. Search. Tab. 3 of 3.
Library, collections, and search. I am not somebody who criticizes this stuff much, because you know what? My feeling is there are probably things that Apple engineers know about engineering and app development that I don't know. Imagine that. So, I kind of just say, praise God, it works, I can use it, right? But if I had to give an honest opinion of the layout of the app, I think they've really nailed it this year in 26. I think it's probably the best I've ever seen. I kind of hope they keep it this way. I'll be fine if they don't, but I kind of hope it stays this way for the foreseeable future. The app, it's just very, very clean, very well laid out. You got 3 tabs there. Library, which is all your photos and videos and stuff. Collections, which I'll show you in a moment. And again, that typical search now that we've come to get used to in iOS 26. Let's go to the first tab, which is Library.
Selected library. Tab selected. Library. Tab. 1 of 3.
At the very top left.
Heading not for library. November 21st, 2025.
Okay, so.
Library. November. Sort and filter. Button.
Now.
Select. Button.
You have sort and filter. You have select, which is going to allow you to multi-select.
Video. Date. October 14th. Time.
And what it's going to kind of do is bring you somewhere in the middle here. Your latest photos are always at the bottom.
Tab. Vertical scroll bar. 546 pages. 100%. Video. Date. November 23rd. Time. 11:23 p.m.
Now, you notice that I have a vertical scroll bar here. It never, even when I touched the top left, it never showed me the beginning of my library because it's just not visible on the screen. You heard it say there's 500 and some odd pages here. There are thousands and thousands and thousands of photos and videos in this library, praise God. So it's not like I'd want to start at the top and scroll down to get to the latest photos. I am going to, what's that? Oh, it's a news alert. Okay. Dismiss that. Anyhow, it's not like I'd want to do that. So I like the fact that it starts me near the bottom. But I do want to show you at the top this sort and filter.
November, sort and filter, button.
What's this?
November 23rd, 2025.
Okay, that...
November 20, November, sort and filter.
Let's look.
Photos, sort by recently added, button. Selected, sort by date captured, button. Selected, both libraries, button. Personal library, shared library, filter, button. View options, button. Dismiss context menu.
And for the sake of time, I'm not going to do the filter or view options. You can take a look at those at your discretion. But I do want to talk about both libraries versus personal versus shared. When you have a family share group set up, as we do, you get two libraries. You get your personal library and you get the shared library. The shared library is very beneficial because sometimes, you know, my wife is the primary picture and video taker in our family, okay? I like to do it too, and sometimes we use my phone for it even if I'm not doing it. But really, my wife is the one who does that. And occasionally, the kids, too. They actually not, I shouldn't say occasionally, they take a lot of pictures. Probably especially my daughter. My son does, too, but probably of different things. He's taken pictures of cars and motorcycles, you know. But anyway, what happens is you say, well, I want that picture. You know, you took that video yesterday of us doing this together or, you know, decorating the tree, and this is on your phone, I say to my wife or to one of my kids. I want that in my library also. Now, of course, they could send it to me by messages or, you know, AirDrop, iCloud, whatever. But if you put them in the shared library, then everybody in the family group, everybody who's subscribed to that shared library will have access to all of them immediately. And so it's much easier that way. And also, it becomes a little bit smart after a while, and it knows, you know, if I'm taking a picture that happens to, I guess, my... Do not disturb. I'm beginning to think. That first one, yeah, that first one was definitely, the first one was definitely legitimate because my dad is in the exceptions list. I don't know why let me check and see where my voiceover focus is on my iPad here.
Speech on and but displaying Nino depth minimize meeting button.
Well, it's in the right place.
Speech
Maybe
off.
it's because I left the Books app and that turned it off because I have it set to...
Focus mode, do not disturb, on.
All right, we should be back in business there. I apologize. I just thought I'd take care of that there. Since I taught you all about focus modes, I should have mine working right, you know? And I do, praise God. I just don't know what happened, but I think it's probably because I left the Books app, and that's an app trigger. Anyway, back to what I was saying. So the little rabbit trail there. When you have the shared library enabled, you can even have it so that if I take a photo or a video that happens to have in it one or both of my kids, my wife, all of us, it knows that's something that should be shared. And it's automatically either going to put it in the shared library or it's going to make a suggestion that I move it to the shared library. And you can move photos between and videos between libraries. You can hide one library or the other. And so you see that I have both selected. All right. So enough of that for the moment. I want to get back to looking at a particular photo or video here. I'll just pick a random one.
Photo, screenshot, live photo, date, November 27th, time, 3:31 p.m., shared, unsaved. Swipe up or down to select a custom action, then double tap to activate. More content available, an assortment of meat, cheese, and other food items on a wooden tray.
Okay, it said unsaved, so this was taken by somebody else in my family and either sent to me, I think it was probably sent to me by messages, and so it said it's an assortment of meat and cheeses. This was from Thanksgiving, and in addition to all of the normal Thanksgiving foods, the turkey and all the trimmings and everything, excuse me, we had a charcuterie board as an appetizer. It's one of the appetizers, which, in case you don't know, does have an assortment of meats and cheeses and sometimes some jams and fruits and, nuts and crackers and so on. It was really good and it was delicious. So I said, because we had this custom made, I said, somebody take a picture of this. I'd like to have that picture, especially because the person who made this might want me to do a review on Facebook or something. So I have a picture of it, and that's what we have here. And it said it's a live photo, which means if I double tap and hold in the right place, it's even going to have a second or two of audio in it. But let's open this photo up and double tap it.
Back button.
Now, the first thing I'm going to do is I want to get a better description. That was a really good description, praise God, but I want to get an even more thorough one. And for that, we'll use ChatGPT. If you don't have an Apple Intelligence compatible device, you can share this photo with ChatGPT using the ChatGPT app and then ask what's in the photo. But since I do have Apple Intelligence, I can just use SIRI and say, what's in this photo?
Do you want me to send this photo to ChatGPT?
Yes, please.
This photo shows a charcuterie board arranged on a wooden tray with handles. It includes assorted cheeses, sliced salami, prosciutto, and pepperoni, various crackers, green grapes, blackberries, candied nuts, and Kalamata olives. There are also small bowls filled with whole grain mustard and a reddish jam or jelly. Garnishes like rosemary sprigs are placed around the items. That was from ChatGPT. Check important info for mistakes.
And I got to be honest with you, there were no mistakes there, praise God, other than not telling me what cheeses they were specifically. I guess she couldn't quite tell, but she knew the whole grain mustard. She knew what the meats were, the nuts. And the reddish jelly was like an apricot, or some people say apricot, whatever, jam. So it was really delicious. But anyway, so that's a way you can get a quick description of your photos. Now, in here, we have a lot of options. Upper left
Back button.
is the back button that takes us back to our library.
Lower Paxton Township. Live photo.
That tells
photo,
me
spatial.
where this was taken,
Lower November 27th, 3:31 p.m.
the date.
More button.
Let's look at the More menu.
Photos. Copy button.
You can copy it.
Duplicate. Hide. Slideshow. Save as video. Button. Add to album. Button. Move to shared library. Button. Adjust date and time.
Notice,
Move to shared library. Button.
move to shared library.
Adjust location. Delete shared photo. Dismiss context menu.
Okay,
Button.
so now you'll notice that there's lots
Back
of
button.
options there, and I think that probably,
3:07.
actually, no, it's too early for my daughter to be here yet. I don't know what my puppy's barking at out there, but anyway, you can see those options there. And now, excuse me, we're out of the More menu.
Live photo. Spatial seat button. Live photo. Live photo. More.
Let's go back
button.
here, okay.
Live photo. Image. A black and white illustration of a circle. Live photo. From Adam. Button.
All right, so he's the one that sent it to me.
Spatial scene. Button.
We can create a 3D spatial scene. We're not going to do that.
Photo chooser. Photo 7. Live photo. Date. November 27th. Time. 3:31 p.m.
And I think,
Actions available. More content available. An assortment of meat, cheese, and other food items on a wooden tray.
that's where I double tap and hold, but let me just swipe up and down and see the actions.
Show details. Explore image. Activate.
So there's
Default.
some show details. There's a Voiceover Explore Image feature. I think if I long press this, I'm going to get the 2 seconds of audio if anybody was talking during that time. If not, we might not hear it, or we'll see. Okay, you definitely heard that. All right, praise God. So that's cool. That's a live photo. You can enable and disable that, whenever you're taking a photo, but it does append 2 seconds to the one before and one after the keyframe. and you can change what the keyframe is. And also, it takes up, just so you know, it only takes up twice the amount of a regular photo as far as storage goes. So it's like taking 2 photos. Go to the right.
Toolbar. Share. Button.
There's where we can share this photo in a number of ways.
Save shared photo. Button.
I do want to save this shared photo because this was sent to me, so we'll double tap that.
Saving shared photo. Dimmed. Detected item info. Button.
All right, we have detected item info. I'm going to show you that. That's a lookup feature. Let's double tap.
Detected item info.
And let's swipe to the right.
Detected item
Actually,
info.
let's...
Dimensions. File size.
Where did it
Standard.
say?
Live photo. Add. Look up food. Button.
Okay, look up.
Opens information card about food found.
So I found some food here, and I can look it up.
Look. Live photo. Date. November 27. Add a caption. Text sheet grabber. Results. Heading. Close. Button. Recipes. Show more. Button. Homemade garlic rosemary crackers. 10 servings. Homemade garlic rosemary crackers featured on a very delicious looking charcuterie board filled with goodies from Trader Joe's.
And
Hard eyes.
definitely,
Figjar.com. Button.
definitely, they did use the rosemary crackers, so I could get a recipe for that by double tapping that.
How to make a cheese plate. 10 minutes. A cheese plate is perfect for an appetizer, party or date night in. The cheese plate has all kinds of Italian meats, cheeses and other necessary goodies. Catherine'sKitchenBlog.com. Simple small charcuterie board. Fun and fantastic food.
Let's dismiss that. That again was a feature called Lookup. And what happens there is that you can use this with food items. You can use it with symbols, like if it sees laundry symbols, you can find out what they mean. If it sees dashboard symbols on a car, there are different things you can look up. You can have it look up a pet. If an animal is found in a picture, it can talk to you. It can show you the kind of dog that it is, for example, like it knows ours is a Yorkie, and it gives you information about that. Or I think it'll do that with plants and so on too. So that's the lookup feature. It said detected item info. Now let's see what else is here that brought up the details automatically.
Live photo. Add a caption. Text field.
So that gives you a
Double
place
tap to add it.
to add a caption. A caption is going to be visible on this. So I could add a caption that says yum or something,
Look up food. Button.
There's that look up button.
Creation date. Thursday. Adjust. But iCloud status. Not uploaded.
It didn't upload yet. I just saved it. It will.
File name. IMG_0. Camera description. Apple iPhone 16 Pro. File format. EF. Live photo. Image. Lens description. Main camera. Resolution. Dimensions. File size. Standard.
All those details.
ISO. Focal length. Exposure by aperture. Shutter speed. Adjust. Toolbar. Share. Button.
Now.
Favored. Selected. Info.
We can hide that info by double tapping that.
Selected. Edit. Selected. Info. Button.
Right? Or
Heading not found. Select edit. But delete. Map with near.
oh,
Toolbar.
okay.
Select edit.
Maybe I have to go up and hide that up with the
Map with near toolbar.
rotor, but
delete.
you can
button.
delete it.
Map with nearby photos. Map with tool edit. But selected.
If we look at edit,
button.
let's just look at what that has in it.
Undo. Dimmed. Undo.
You can
dimmed,
undo.
Button.
Let's look at what else edit has in it.
Redo. Adjust. Heading. Markup. Button.
We can mark up this photo, and that's where you're going to put a voiceover label if you actually want to, by the way. That's the proper way to label a photo for voiceover if you need to. I typically don't because I can listen to the descriptions, and sometimes if I need extra help, I can listen to the live photo audio if there is any. But I just don't see the need to label all my photos. But if you do want to do a voiceover label, the proper way to do it is through markup. So you open markup.
Markup alert. Markup turns off live photo.
Oh, I can't show you in this photo because I don't want to turn off the live photo. That's right.
Live photo will be turned off and edits will apply to the still photo only.
No.
Cancel.
Button. We're going to cancel that. I forgot. Yeah. When you mark up, it allows you to draw on the photo and write on the photo and so on. But there's an option to actually insert text label. And I think it says accessibility or something at some point there. But it's that you can insert the text and literally type a label that VoiceOver will read. All right, so we'll...
Intensity slider for auto, dimmed, enhancements, auto, off, adjustable.
You have the different enhancements.
Double tap to
We're still in the edit menu here.
Light, exposure, brilliance, highlights, shadows, contrast, brightness, black point, color, saturate, vibrance, 0%.
Look at all that stuff. You can...
Auto. Live photo. Enhancements. Auto. Intensity slider. Live photo. Button. Selected. Adjust. Filters. Crop and rotate. Clean up. Clean up.
So you can crop and rotate. If you have people in here, you can remove the red eye. You can you can apply filters to your photo to make it look, like a Ken Burns effect, or like different, there's all kinds of stuff you can do. And then the cleanup is an AI tool that's part of Apple Intelligence. But we're going to
button.
Get out of that.
Back button.
And
Library.
there's so much you can do that I don't have time to show you today. But I will just say that you can name the people in your photos, which then helps you to organize by people. You can name the pets in your photos. You can confirm the places your photos were taken. And you can create albums. You can share your photos. And you can create iCloud shared photo albums. So let's go down to collections.
Tab bar. Collections.
And quickly look at some of this.
Collections. Layout and reorder. Button.
All right, layout and reorder. So that's going to show which collections appear where. I'm not going to do that right now.
Profile. Button.
There's your profile.
Notification. Memories. Button. Heading.
Now, the first heading I have, the first collection is called Memories. And these are automatic slideshows. And by the way, you can create your own slideshows. We demonstrate that for you in the iPad class that we'll be offering this spring, praise God. But basically the way you do that is, remember that select button that I said allows you to multi-select your photos up at the top. You can select 5 or 6 photos, 8, 10, whatever you want, 12, select them. And then you can choose the share. I believe it's under share. Maybe it's not anymore, but there's a slideshow button there at the bottom. And you can play the slideshow. You can adjust the music that plays. You can adjust the transition effect and the theme and so on. But memories are automatically created slideshows made by Apple Photos that they think will go well together based on particular people, particular locations. If it's a certain date, like when it's my son's daughter or my daughter's birthday, it'll give me memories of their childhood and their lives so far, and those kinds of things. So if I and by the way, these are collapsible headings. That's why it says button heading. Listen again.
Memories. Button. Heading.
So if I want to collapse that heading and not see it, I can double tap on it to hide it. It should already be expanded.
Collapse button.
Yep, there's the collapse button right there.
Create a memory button.
I can create my own memory using natural language, but let's see what they've created for me.
Harrisburg and Pittsburgh button. Cooking button. August 7th button.
That's my daughter's birthday.
Action portraits button. By the water with baby Carson. Winter button. Rehoboth Beach button. June 26th pinned button. Heading.
So any of these I want to watch, and they'll rotate and they'll come up with new ones. I double tap. I'm not going to do it because it'll play music from my Apple Music library, and then again we're back into that copyright gray area that I don't want to violate the law there. So I don't want to do that, but I could play that, and it would play music from my library that it thinks goes well with that memory, and it usually allows you to change the mood and change the song and all that as well. But that is the memory collection. Now we're on to pinned.
Pinned button. Edit button.
And I can edit those, so I can pin photos to that.
Collapse button. Favorites button.
Now I'm on the favorites that I've pinned favorites.
Recently saved button.
They have those there for me, I guess.
Map button. Videos button. Screenshots. Albums button. Heading.
Now we're on to albums. And so if I look at albums, I have a whole bunch of albums, and I can create new albums. And one of the things that we can even do is we can do shared iCloud albums that other people can join. And we have one with our kids, and so it's not just our family, not just our immediate family, but we have the grandparents in the kids' album as well. Anybody can take a photo or video and save it to the kids' album, and then everyone who is part of that album can see it.
Book album, July 12th, iPhoto
There's
events.
a lot of albums here. Let's go headings.
Container headings, people and pets, button.
All right, here's people and pets that I've named from my photos.
Collapse, button, Jessica and Matthew, button, Larissa, button, baby Carson, Matthew, Jessica, button, button,
And
Carson,
there's some
button,
people that haven't. Okay, Carson.
Carson, button,
It should have.
draggable, button, featured photos.
Not sure why I'm not seeing Kylie there. I thought we named her. I asked her to name herself in these, but maybe there's one of the unlabeled.
Button, draggable. Double tap and hold, wait for the sound, then drag to rearrange. Adult, eyeglasses, foliage, wood processed.
That's not Kylie.
Button, draggable. Double tap and hold, wait for the sound, then drag to rearrange. Adult, jewelry, button, draggable.
As long as it says adult, it's not going to be Kylie. I had asked her to name herself. Maybe she never did yet in my phone. This one says child. I'd have to see what that is. Let's see.
Back, but select, name this person, button.
Well, let's see if it's her.
Photo got on direct 41 play, but album header, live photo, date, December 20th, 2023, time, 8:19 p.m. Actions available, more content available, 2 children posing for a photo in front of a Christmas tree.
2 children.
Live photo, date, December 20th, 2023, time, 8:19 p.m. Actions available. More content available. A group of people posing for a photo in front of a Christmas tree.
I'd say that is her. I'm not going to name it until I double check with her, but I'd say it is her. And I could ask ChatGPT for more details.
A group of people posing for a photo in front of a Christmas tree.
I could listen to the live photo.
More. Live space photo. Share. Live photo. Date. December 13th. 2023. Time, 8:19 p.m.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it probably is Kylie, but I'm going to wait and show her and make sure. But you see, that's how you go through, and there was a button up there now.
More. Select. Name this person. Button.
Name this person. So then once I name them, they will appear. That name will be associated with anything that they're in. So that's convenient.
Back.
We can go back. And what else did I want to show you?
Button, drag a button, drag a pin.
Well, that was the
Button,
people and
explore
pets
active vertical
collection.
Headings, featured photos, shared albums, recent
shared
days,
albums,
button,
recent
trips,
days,
button,
trips,
heading, media types,
media
button.
types. So if you want to see your videos only,
Collapse videos, 1,383 items.
I can just
Button,
double tap
draggable,
that.
Portrait, 11 items. Slow-mo, 50 items. Screenshots, RAW, panoramas, 5. Cinematic, 1 item.
So all of these,
Screen recordings, 71 items.
I can see those. All right, and I didn't show, the one thing I didn't show you that I can do real quick is just the different share options. I know we talked about sharing a photo, but I do want to...
Tab bar, library, selected.
Let's go back here and select a photo.
Select photo, date, December 7th, time, 12:35 a.m. More content available. A screenshot of a photo, date, December 7th, time, 12.
Now, I actually don't know why. I probably accidentally took the screenshot, because that doesn't seem like anything relevant. Let's see where there's something. Okay.
Front of a white background.
That's not a screenshot. I don't know what that is.
Photo, delete, photo.
It's not
date,
a...
December 5th, time, 10:48 p.m. Liftable subject available. A brown surface in front of a white background.
That is a person. I could ask Chat GPT to give me more details there. I could look at the info. And I could see...
Edit, delete, photo, date, edit, button, favorite, share, photo chooser, spatial scene, more, photo 7900, photo 7, photo, detect text, live photo, share, button, live photo chooser, photo 7960 of photo 7961 of photo 7, photo 7964 of photo 7000,
that was the screenshot, but here,
share, favored,
this
info,
is the one I think.
Edit, delete, photo, date, December 5th, time, 10:48 p.m. Show details.
Using the rotor to show details.
Map with nearby photos. Map, photo, date, delete, edit, selected, info, but favored, switched, but edit.
I don't
delete,
really get
photo,
much
map with
detail about that, so let's ask ChatGPT.
Lens description, main camera, file format, EF, camera description, Apple iPhone 16 Pro. File name, IMG selected, iCloud status, uploaded, adjust, creation date.
So we could just, what's in this photo?
Do you want me to send this photo to ChatGPT?
Yes, please. it always asks.
The photo appears to be mostly dark and blurry, possibly showing a close-up of an object or a finger covering the camera lens. There are no clear details visible. That was from Chat.
All right, so that's where I got the impression. This might have been an accidental photo, but it gives me the opportunity to show you the share button anyway here.
Edit, delete, selected, favorite, share button.
Because what I wanted
Photos,
to do,
image, a brown object against.
at the very, very top of the share sheet, when you hit share, swipe to the right.
One photo selected.
Okay, we're going to tap down a little lower.
Messages.
And now
button.
swipe to the left.
Kale, Monica, click, photo selection list, live, iPad, photo, date, December 7th, photo, date, iPad,
it gives you, see, it kind of gives you the other photos you can select if you want to add multiple photos to the selection. So if I want to add any of those, I can double tap. But then the other thing that I can do here is, let's see, photo selection list. That's where my, all right, so if I touch the very top of the screen,
close button, location services, location options button.
That's what I want to show you. There's a close button to get out of this, and then swipe to the right of the close button and you'll hear
location services, location is included.
Right now, the location is included. To the right of that,
options button.
There is an options button. This is done case by case, photo by photo. But if you don't want to include the location or other metadata with this photo, let's say you're uploading it to Facebook and you don't want people to have the address or whatever of where it was being shared from, or where it was taken, I should say, you can turn off the location sharing for this particular photo. You just go into the options button there at the top. All right, we're going to get out of this.
Close button.
And we are at almost 3:30. So I'm just going to say we are not going to get into the camera today. We have 1 or 2 days of the course where I have a little bit of time open that we may be able to get into it, like the last week of the course, not tomorrow or anything, but next week or the week after. There's a little bit of time I may be able to get to the camera. I don't want to promise you that because I want to be a man of my word and I don't know if we're going to be able to fit it in. But if you need tips and pointers on the camera, you certainly can ask us. The camera is very robust. The best point I can give you, though, is practice, right? If you don't have eyesight, the spatial awareness may be a bit tricky. And I often have people help me if I want to take my photos or videos, but you want to practice and develop that muscle memory. You can also use the camera to scan barcodes and QR codes, and again, it's just about practicing where the alignment is on that sort of thing. There's a lot of camera modes, and then the control center has an optional QR code scanner control you can put in there. It's just called Code Scanner. So you can add that to the control center as well. The iPhone 16 series has the new camera control button on the right-hand side below the side button, and that can allow you, that can be used to quickly open up, like you can press it once to open up the camera, you can press it a second time to take a picture. There are other options and other uses for it. You can press and hold it to get the visual intelligence, which allows you to point at, let's say, a restaurant or the sign for a restaurant or another business, and it will give you the business hours, the website, maybe the menu. You can point at a plant and it will identify a plant. So there's a lot of visual intelligence features, and there's visual intelligence in screenshots as well. So it can even answer questions about what's on the screen. And
3:28 p.m.
If I have something on the screen, I can ask Apple Intelligence to identify that as well, or ask specific questions about it. So there's a lot we can do here, and we've just only begun to scratch the surface, but I hope that this has been meaningful for you. I'm going to unmute any instructors that we have, but first,
you are using.
I'm going to disable my
chat record show white more.
Disable my original audio.
Tool, apps, audio settings, David Corp done. My noise removal.
Now I will get to my participants list. And praise God, we've got a great crowd here. And we're going to find Trainer Sarah. I don't know for sure if Trainer Cliff is here. If he is, maybe he'll raise his hand and we'll see that. But Sarah, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you doing, Matt?
Doing well.
Again, breakneck speed.
Yeah. Yeah, these app bonanzas always have a lot of content.
Yeah. You kind of breezed over the code scanner. That's, I mean, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
just very
you
briefly.
mentioned,
Yeah.
yeah, but it is being used out there, for, at restaurants. I just had that at a theater where you did a point and shoot at the seat ahead of you, and you got the program. I
Oh,
couldn't fi-
absolutely.
I couldn't
Absolutely.
figure out how to access it, like make it work for voiceover, but you know
Yeah.
that's for another day. But
Well, yeah, but I mean, those are super cool and very useful because they are they're I apologize. I just got a message from my son. I was reading at the same time as I was talking, and but yeah, no, I mean the QR codes, like you say, restaurants, sometimes it'll have you scan a QR code to activate a service or a website or go to, I mean there's just so many different, like you say, a program, and they do work, and it works with voiceover. And it is also not that hard to make your own QR code now. Different apps allow you to do that, and there are even websites that'll generate one for free. And you can use them on your poster advertising your event, or on your website, or on your business card. I mean, they're really, really becoming a popular way to give people quick access to information.
yeah,
Thanks for joining today's session. Didn't get your question answered? Have an additional comment or feedback? Email us info@ttjtech.biz or info@stirritup.com. And remember, stir is spelled with a U. That's STURITUP.com. Or check out our websites for additional resources. That's ttjtech.biz or stirritup.com. And remember, subscribe to the newsletter when you're there. That way, you don't miss out on any upcoming announcements or events. Thanks for joining us. God bless, and see you next time.